Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Derek Gerber on the line, and he's VP of Explainify. Derek, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, bud. Super excited to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, so hey, I'm excited to have you on the show. I've seen your work, I've been to the website, and you guys are doing some, when I say explainer videos, I think these are more like next level videos, and we'll get into that and we'll get into some of the unique things that you're doing for your clients and just what makes your explainer videos just a whole nother level. But before we do that, let's start off with our Mission Matters Minute. So, Derek, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. So that's our mission here. Derek, what mission matters to you?
I really got to say, for us, bringing the excitement from video content creation to life for brands is really exciting. But then watching our videos get put out into the wild in front of millions of viewers that help inspire change, that help people take action, that retain important information, that's really the blessing for us. And that's really what we're after is that how do we take complex, convoluted information and truncate it into a short micro explainer video format that is really highly retentive for all the viewers and the demographics that you're looking to target. So whether you're doing awareness, education, or revenue generation campaigns, we create videos that cover all those different aspects, and it's really a lot of fun to do.
You said to let your videos into the wild. That's classic. I never thought about it that way. That is what you're doing. It's kind of like you spent all this time creating this content and working with this client, and it could take weeks, could take a long time to put together a particular video. And now it's like, all right, go do what you were made to do, right?
That's right. Instead of taking 6 months to talk about it, we do it in 6 weeks, right? And like that's the idea is that we've eliminated that frustration
Mhm.
process of content creation in general because so many chefs in the kitchen, right, at once
Mhm.
can lead to delays and people just don't get it done. So we've
Yeah.
actually worked with our brands you know and love here on the show and around the world, but they come to us, they trust us to bring their brand story to life, and they start with video first campaigns,
Mhm.
and that's the best ticket for fastest growth and building really retentive programs.
Yeah, and we'll get back to this word growth and video marketing strategy specifically for growth because I think sometimes, I mean, there's different reasons to create videos, and we'll talk about some of those. But before we get into the topic overall, like, how'd you get started in this business? Like, how'd you get on this marketing journey into video?
I got to say, I was fortunate enough coming out of high school. I had a first job. I worked at a golf course. And then all of a sudden, I had a paid internship at CNN not too much longer later. And I was
Yeah.
overlooking the hills of Beverly Hills, 90210, the high school. And they're down there playing lacrosse, right? But this was the CNN office, basically just the TBS floor in general. But
Mhm.
there, Culver City, Hollywood type of territory, 4 miles
Yeah.
from the beach, right? And we're looking at all this, and there's just all of this content coming to life with some of the smartest people I've ever
Wow.
seen. The pressure's on, but it was kind of like an adrenaline junkie thing for me. I just loved it. And watching at the time, remember this is
Mhm.
maybe back 2011, not to date myself, but the CNN application was coming to life, and so I got blended and thrown into campaigns of running completely curated on branded content
Mhm.
campaigns from television to even radio, and then getting into the digital advertising space. The number one thing that I always found that my eye was going to was the video
Mhm.
creation part and creating segments of value. So hey, we have a new angle on this Showtime, right? We want to
Mhm.
slot you in as our number one sponsor or provider, right? So working with some of the world's largest car brands, that was really inspiring for me. But then my dad had also at the time went and started a software company, was a couple of years into that. So I had to make a
Mhm.
hard choice. I was like, can I take
Wow.
all of this that I've learned here, right? Driving 2.5 hours up there at 6 in the morning to get there on time, not make it at home till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. But there was something about this world of content creation. And it just really got to me, and video advertising and blending it all together in an on-branded experience. That was
Mhm.
something that I wanted to go take to the software world. So I took that in, and we made a couple $1 million worth of revenue in the last couple of years for sure. But I'd say in the last 10, 15 years working with top
Mhm.
technology companies, specifically today, workflow automation, intelligent automation, robotic process automation,
Yeah.
all the things that we're talking about automating here in the new normal 2.0, 3.0. Those lessons I learned a long time ago are more applicable now than ever before. We're all picking up our devices more. We see
Mhm.
6,000 advertisements a day. Who's going to be the one that creates that retentive piece of
Yeah.
content? And I'm that guy. And so that's what got me here is after all this years in the software industry, finally get to come out, take my experience. And we've been doing it here at Explainify for about the last 2 years. And we've seen about 400% growth because people need short form video now more than
Yeah.
ever. It's hard to get live action shots. And we happen
Yeah.
to produce premium animations that are timeless. They're
Yeah.
ageless. And everyone loves a little bit of animations when it's done just right. So the content now becomes evergreen and completely on brand. So I've taking you through a full journey as it started there in Hollywood. And then now we're doing it for brands across the world. And it couldn't be more exciting for me. I love technology and I
Yeah.
love creating the content that represents it.
Wow, how exciting. And I think what's really unique is in terms of your journey in particular is that you started with the big boys. I mean, you started like a lot of people that are making video, they start, and I don't think there's a right or wrong way to get your start, right? I mean, everybody work hard, but some people start independent. Some people started like myself with a cell phone. I had no experience or anything else like that. And there's just a lot of different sides of the journey and a lot of things that I had to learn along the way. But what do you think like starting working for like I would argue the best in the world when you're talking some of the production that you're working on in terms of this niche, if you will. Like what do you think that did for your overall experience? Like how did that contribute?
Absolutely, man. I got to say, it started with a passion. I just knew I wanted to be a businessman. And I just knew that I just loved software and technology. So when I got to
Yeah.
go to CNN, I got to see these, I got to go to a couple tapings and shows and
Wow.
watch behind the scenes. And it is a truly phenomenal experience. I'm very grateful for it.
They
One of a
make it
kind. If
look
you ever
easy,
get a
right?
chance.
They make it look
Oh,
easy. Like we
man,
just turn on our
they are
TV and nothing happens. But if you see what's happening behind the scenes, it is not easy.
they are true professionals, right? And coming from being a child actor back in the day, I'm very well aware of the cutting room floor. I've been
Mhm.
there, I've seen it. 80% of a movie can end up on the cutting room floor. And as you go to
Mhm.
create content inside a business, is
Yeah.
you realize that not everyone's a video creation expert like all these
Mhm.
people who are professionals and do it for a living. And so I think that it's only natural that I have found through my own experience and getting to this level that we have this trademark frustration-free video creation process is that we've cut through all of the fluff in between and we make it super simple to get really retentive content, high quality content
Mhm.
produced very quickly. There are, other more affordable avenues to take, and we have partners
Yeah.
for those things. But when you want it done and you want it done right at the best and biggest level, that's ready for a
Mhm.
national advertising campaign or ready to put your video in the middle of a very popular hotel on the strip, or you want to
Yeah.
go put it out in Times Square, you're going to call us. And like that's what people trust us in for is like, how do I cut through all the fluff and get to what I want to
Yeah.
create, something that's really stellar and impresses the whole team, something you're
Mhm.
proud of. So I think that's what I got to say is watching all of those people, those fine folks over there, navigate live television production, right? Trying to put
Mhm.
together campaigns for all the world's leading brands as to how they get distributed. That was really exciting, but no one ever gives them enough credit as to
Mhm.
navigating the creative content creation floor, if you would. It can be really messy and frustrating for most, but if you've done it enough, you just kind of weather the storm and you take them to the finish line. You say, nope, we're on the right path. That's a normal thing to go through. And so I
Mhm.
think that's most exciting for me is that there's a certain science to it. There's the 50% science part
Mhm.
of here's how we do it. You need videos in these areas, right? But then
Yeah.
how you do it, oh man, that's the fun part. That's the branding. That's the cadence. That's the voiceover, the music
Yeah.
choice, how you want it to display, and what you want me to walk away with. You want me to do something. You want me to remember
Mhm.
something. That's what I love the most. So it's like you already know you need video. I'm here for that.
Mhm.
I got you all day long. But on the back end, how you do it, oh, that's when we get to bring our team in and we get to create these ideation processes with our creative director. And it's
Mhm.
just a lot of fun.
And so let's go further into today's topic. So, marketing strategies are using video for growth. So, I think we start at the beginning because I'll give you my backstory. So, I've come many years from this, but I remember when I was first thinking about explainer videos and what an explainer video was. I think I bought some like junky software off online. I'm embarrassed, right? I don't even want to say it. I had like the little hand and it was doing the like drawing thing and it took me like 5 minutes and I was so proud. And now I look back and I'm like, that wasn't an explainer video, Adam. It had no story. It was just something I put together pretty quick. So maybe there's some people watching this right now that don't quite understand what an explainer video is to the level that you're doing them. And they're exactly where I started. So maybe start off with there. Like, tell us a little bit more about what an explainer video is.
Absolutely. And there's nothing to, take any shame in that. There's no, at the time technology was different. And now you
Yeah.
can create one on your phone, right? And so what differentiates a self-guided content creation process versus working with an established professional? The
Yeah.
expectations have come so much further since the evolution of whiteboard videos or create your own animated video
Yeah.
technologies when they first came out. Like, that's okay. There's a place for those things. One of the most important things that I was ever taught in my career here is that if all you have is a potato to shoot it, then use the potato and shoot that content and get that content done. I think that comes from Gary Vee. I can't remember who gets credit, but my point is I
Yeah.
never forgot that. If that's what you got, then that's what you do. But now we're in a new stage. Now we're in
Mhm.
this, oh wow, we're in a new metaverse, from Facebook making the announcement
Mhm.
this week. You're going to be walking down through the metaverse in the next couple of years, and you're going to see our videos popping up in a digital space.
Wow.
How do you even relate the two, right, from your past experience to this? Well, you need a partner, so providing certainty during uncertain times
Mhm.
with COVID, the new normal, whatever the world's going to pitch at
Yeah.
us next. I just want you to watch our videos and have a real good time. So that's where I get
Mhm.
excited about it. It's like the technology has made it easier, but it didn't make the content creation process or
Mhm.
working with people to find one vision any
Yeah.
easier. So the platforms have, again, advanced so much further than they were. The expectation in the next 5 or 10 years through
Mhm.
automation, the metaverse, all these new topics, right? It's going to be mind-boggling. But my point is that we're working with our partners right now to navigate
Mhm.
that and set out the milestones together.
So, okay, so that covers some of the basics. Now let's take that a little bit further. So the
Oh
idea
yeah.
of an on-branded, self-guided experience, which is that's the goal for many, depending on the type of video, right? Tell us a little bit more about what that even means.
Yes, I got to say, everyone is trying to find a way to personalize their relationship with clients. Even if you look at
Yeah.
technology, over 70% of buyers of technology have been to your website and actually
Mhm.
interacted with video content on your site. They went and checked your social media. They went
Yeah.
and looked to see if you look legitimate. So most of these people are making buying decisions before they talk to sales, and that's not a new trend. That's been a developing trend, but now it's really
Mhm.
being hammered home. We all have more to do. We all have more messages than before. We all seem to have overwhelmed ourselves during these new times, right? And now that we're working into how do I differentiate myself and
Mhm.
create a brand and showcase my brand. Someone's coming in, I got this amazing, want to bring that to life. So the core
Mhm.
values with those viewers start to interlock together. You can create immense a brand awareness and brand legitimacy in just
Mhm.
7 seconds. And that's my point is when we talk about now breaking down, an explainer video, right? Well, I got a
Yeah.
2 or 3 minute. I'm not talking 2 or 3 minute videos. There's a place for that. But
Yeah.
most people, I will say, right here for the show, we have enough data over the last 10, 15 years to tell you that if you got a 60-second video, about
Mhm.
95% of those people are starting to check out at about 45 seconds. Okay. So
Yeah.
now I'm going to get a little deeper into the weeds. That means I got 7 seconds to make an impression to say, hey, I'll watch the rest of this. Another
Mhm.
7 seconds, if you would, to say, I get why this is important to me. You've hooked me now. I'm definitely going to engage. And then you got 30 seconds to deliver it home. And most of the people
Mhm.
come to I want a 10-minute video. I want to create all that. That is not how people digest content. That might be
Yeah.
convenient for your thought process, but that is not the ultimate way to creating frustration-free video content. And that's what we've
Mhm.
mastered is how do we take all the complicated things in the Explainify way, find a way
Mhm.
to explain it very simply in a short form video format? To double down
Mm.
on that for everyone getting started, the more that you work to target the message, the more powerful it becomes. The
Mm.
SEO algorithms of today change every quarter now. Who knows, right? But they're looking for within the natural language processing technology tools available, right? They're
Mhm.
looking for inflections and tones and voices and the content that you're trying to produce with closed captions and everything. You're getting points for things that you couldn't get points for 5 years ago. So the more content that is there, the more targeted it becomes. The right words being used in the videos really start to matter today. So we've
Mm.
had a lot of examples of people coming to us looking to create video series, but they're not 10-minute videos with 50
Yeah.
videos. No, it's a 50 or 100, or sometimes some clients have done 2 or 500 video pitches with us and say,
Yeah.
we want to dominate the SEO game on our website. We want to create a
Mhm.
self-guided how to quick start tutorial for how to do XYZ. And that can
Yeah.
go anywhere from, I mean, getting started with, a new bank. Hey, welcome.
Mhm.
Here's what you can expect. Here's a library for you to get started on investing safely with us, right?
Yeah.
Call us if you need us, but get started here. And then now a video series, a video library. Not only are you getting SEO points for that because we're talking about growth here, but you're also
Mhm.
creating a fan base, so a loyalty, a brand loyalty
Yeah.
now starts to come to life. So back to those 3 points is we're always helping our clients in these 3 areas: awareness, education, and revenue
Mhm.
generation campaigns. Brand awareness, brand legitimacy, brand loyalty, culture. Who are we, right?
Mhm.
I can relate to that. I want to work with a brand like that. See, I'm proud to be a customer. Those words, we help generate that. The second part with educational
Mhm.
series, right? How do I do this thing? I downloaded your app. How do I go from free trial to buy now within the next 24 hours, right? Data shows that they'll check out if you don't get them now. So they have to be
For
able to
sure.
download an app from the App Store. We have videos on the App Store. I want you to download that app and get into playing it for 5 minutes. And if I got you then you're much more likely to purchase it on the back end. And so it's like
Mhm.
truncating all the things that we think are important really into those couple bullet points that help me take action. That's what leads
Mhm.
me to the third one that we do the most, and we do that fairly well. But the revenue generation campaigns.
Mhm.
So now we've like got a whole new thing that's just, hey, this is what it does. Here's your application. Here's the financial service. Here's the biotech, the med tech, whatever it is. And here's the action that you need to take to get started.
Mhm.
That part is really fun because you can directly correlate ROI. But I want the audience to understand not every video needs to directly produce money. If you're trying
Yeah.
to really get into growth, you don't just measure it by revenue produced per video.
Mhm.
You will spin your head into the ground trying to figure that out. But if you lead with video first and you start
Mhm.
with a minute long video, the beautiful part about this is if you want to start to master the game is you start taking mini segments and snippets out of that video. So now
Yeah.
one video becomes 10 more videos. And in a
Mhm.
video series, 50 videos becomes 500 videos.
Wow.
That's the math. That's the multiplier. That's the 10x effect. You cannot hire enough live action talent to be nearly as cost effective as that. And that's
Mhm.
really our point is we have found ways to navigate that. These, 10 years, thousands of videos, hundreds of brands. You've
Yeah.
seen our on TV. It's 50% science says you got to do it. We've got that part. How we do it, that's the journey we bring to life with our frustration-free process. We pull that story out and then put it out in a video, and then that gets
Mhm.
released back into the wild, and that's the fun part.
Ah, it's amazing. And so, like, uses for the video. Like, let's give for those that maybe have never shot this type of video, or maybe they're not even that, advanced in terms of content creation, or they normally just outsource that and they're like, I want part of the process. What are some of the uses that you've seen people use it for? You mentioned like welcome videos for a bank, or give me some more there.
Oh my gosh, yes, and on our website too, there are a ton of ideas too if
Yeah.
people need more resources, so make sure to check that out. But video types are starting to actually expand a little bit more with all the
Hmm.
new platforms available. But we'll start from the basics. Is that people sometimes approach us and go, "Hey, I know I need a video, but I don't know where to go." Well, we start on the 3
Hmm.
pillars: awareness, education, revenue. But the first one I like doing, about us, like who are you as a brand? What are you trying
Hmm.
to what is your mission that matters
Yeah.
to everybody else? And I think that's like what's most critical is some people can't define those things, and it's okay. We're here to help
Hmm.
take that pain away. And that's our value to you is, oh, I see it. We've seen enough businesses, we've seen enough data to back up and say this plan matches exactly what you're on for your milestones, what's
Yeah.
important to you. So getting through those 3 basics, then what you start to do is you build supplementary video content after that. But then people
Mm.
start to ask, where does the video go? Excellent question. It goes on your website. It goes
Yeah.
on the App Store. I just mentioned that one of
Hmm.
across social media, of course. the Twitters, the Facebooks, the metaverses, the TikToks, the whole thing, right? Instagram, right? Got to say them
Yeah.
all, right? All those, I mean, those seem obvious, right? But what you wouldn't think about is that each one of those
Mhm.
platforms, especially LinkedIn, all have different video resolutions and requirements and how you
Yeah.
create that content. So if you don't know that going into it, then you got to go and reformat all those things. When working with
Mhm.
someone like Explainify, we just produce it for you because we already know
Yeah.
how to do it. And I think that's what's important. So moving forward though, like, there's an expansion of new technologies coming around the corner. So now you even have YouTube shorts. YouTube shorts
Yeah.
sounds like
It's amazing.
explainer videos to me, but less than a minute long of content, right? Lots of applications pushing for short form video creation, no different than we've seen
Mhm.
in Instagram stories, Facebook stories, those story methodology,
Mhm.
continuing to constantly scroll through TikTok for short form interactive content. That's really exciting. Where's it
Mm.
going next? What I just ended on, interactive content. Trying to create personalized on-branded experience for every single person. You can't create enough videos for that. But what you
Mm.
can do is get most of them. And now technology, and I can't talk about all the things, but we're a very select few partners allowed by
Mhm.
a very large video company, and we're working on the latest and greatest with them. So we work with a very large financial institution, and we want
Mhm.
to find a way to create more interactive video content to attract more demographics for a personalized
Wow.
message without having to go and recreate a video for every single one. It's one video, and then it
Mhm.
pauses, and it asks you to click for the next journey. Technologically, people have attempted this, and it's been clunky. We have
Yeah.
found a way to package it up so that you could go to an outdoor mall and you're seeing an
Mhm.
advertisement for the story. Are you interested in jackets, men's clothes, women's clothes, kids clothes? You hit the button, and that video that's playing, that
Mhm.
showcase of container, would just play our video from that point. So you miss all the stuff that's not relevant to you, and get
Wow.
right into the details. So again, for software applications, are you a developer? Are you
Mhm.
an enterprise user? Are you a free user? Each one of those could be all done in one video right now. And so we're working on that as
Wow.
the cutting edge, because that's what people want. By the time you get into the metaverse in a couple of years, it's going to be, hey, we already know who you are, but we're working on establishing those footholds now. It sounds a little scary, but really,
It
you want
sounds
to
very
try
scary, but I want it.
yeah.
I'm
Oh
in.
god. You want to find your multipliers now. That's what I'm trying to get at, is short form
Mhm.
little things. Again, you don't want to create a million videos. You want to create a
Mhm.
handful that have enough flexibility, but that whole video needs to drive you to an action. So interactive video content on any screen. That's a big
Yeah.
asterisk right there for the technology ones out there. How does it get displayed? Well, there's a little
Mhm.
bit of science and magic. Maybe you call me about that. We'll talk about it. But really, on the back end, all you got to know is that we're pushing towards even further personalizing video content without having to go and create it and guess every
Mhm.
single time. It's a framework to create. Again, I always like to use these words: the full on branded experience for you
Mhm.
through video, no matter what screen.
So you mentioned that you work with, big financial institutions. You also mentioned a bank. So obviously we know you work with large companies over at Explainify. Like, tell us a little bit more about the company and maybe who gets the most value. Is it only large companies, or like give us a mix for who you typically like to work with or
Oh my
gets the
gosh,
most
yes,
value?
this is my favorite part, is that 70-80% of our client base actually happens to be leading software technologies across the
Mm.
world. Platforms that you've seen on TV, that are advertising on social media,
Mhm.
things that you use and don't even know about it, are my favorite ones, because there's a lot of SDK and API technologies that
Mhm.
power the everyday software applications we're using right now. So we
Mm.
help communicate those messages and get those technologies out into the world. So SaaS technology companies, things like that. Number
Mhm.
one, complicated problem solvers for them, because they have
Yeah.
very complicated technologies. They get explained in a minute, and people go, "Oh, I get that," and that makes it
Yeah.
way more fun. It also looks very polished, and it brings a whole branding
Mhm.
element together. That's kind of more of that gray area, right? How you do it is where we add more value to. But on the back end, we've done
Yeah.
everything from med tech, biotech, healthcare.
Mhm.
Even recently, a hospital contacted us as to how to better inform parents of what to expect next during their journey as their child goes through surgery. We take on a
Mm.
lot of very painful stories that we try
Yeah.
to enlighten the situation a little bit by providing more insight and transparency through our very nice and approachable animations. Again,
Hmm.
animation is ageless, so you can have one style that speaks to all different ages. But the idea is, what message are we trying to get across? So in some of these
Hmm.
instances, you're going to find that a lot of our content isn't just about, hey, buy this now. If that's the only reason
Yeah.
you're making a video, then maybe you should reconsider. I think that what's really important right now is we're getting into a world where we're trying to build up that brand loyalty and relationship,
Mm.
yet somehow not talk to somebody in the process. So we have to keep people where people belong in the process, but
Hmm.
automating the content delivery to make me feel like you're aware of what I'm about to go through, right? And you're
Hmm.
guiding me through this. That makes the world that much sweeter. But again, all the way down from, from the really large companies that you see on TV
Hmm.
right now. You've seen a couple of our commercials up there. That's wonderful. We love those. But again,
Yeah.
we have a lot of clients in the SMB area, many with
Hmm.
Series ABC funding. Those are a lot
Yeah.
of fun. They need a lot of attention. Have a cool new hype thing. Those are great to go do. But then for the everyday, companies that just need a good, solid video, but that can last for 2, 3, 5 years, depending how
Yeah.
they work with us on it. That's really important and really close to our hearts as well.
So you mentioned also like SaaS companies are working with things like that. And then the hospital example is really interesting to me because sometimes when we think about growth, we think about videos, like a lot of times it's marketing side of things or how do you drive sales. But like to be able to, in the case of what you mentioned, like an explainer video and what to expect after a surgery for your child, like you're changing lives there. Like you're taking emotional stress, you're taking a lot of different things, you're teaching. Tell me a little bit more about like how that part of it works, like some of that feedback that you get, because you're really changing lives with something like that.
Yeah, and like that's the point is there are just some ugly things we got to deal with in the world, and
Yeah.
sometimes a nice premium animated video really cuts through a
Yeah.
lot of that. When you can hit the point at home and hey, we get your pain, we know what you're going through, and here's what you can expect. We're here for you.
Hmm.
We fulfill that gap more often than not. Most people coming in through our lead channel, right? They're pinging, they're
Yeah.
growing a lot. I got to say, again, more leads this last week. Everyone getting to the end of the year, trying to get ready for next year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Most of those are not saying, "Oh, I need to produce $10 million. I need it." They're like, "No, we have this aspirational campaign. We want our
Yeah.
users to be self. We want them to be quick starters." There's so many different industries that have these pain points, and so
Hmm.
if I had to boil it all down to the most common denominator, if you would, it's really about like, how do I get them to know
Hmm.
that I know what they're going to go through, and then deliver this content and high quality, right? That's
Hmm.
that's the thing. That really does matter because that brand becomes you, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying is like these pain points, we hit them right on the head, go right for it. And we cut through all the fluff and we make those people feel at home with that brand. So again,
Hmm.
it's a patient experience all the way into going to the app store and watching the
Hmm.
video there. Same goal, do something. Right. But
Yeah.
how we all altruistically get there together, that's where the frustration free means a lot more than just project
Hmm.
management. And hey, frustration free means you can say those hard things here and we're going to cut through it for you. You have a
Hmm.
PR or a branding issue and you need strategic advisors and video experts to give you input. We have a team for that. You have me for that. You've got our creative director and the rest of our team around you
Hmm.
for that as well. So there's so many different things that you can't cover all in just one interview.
Hmm.
But I got to say, and I'm really proud of everybody too, but the people's ideas are obviously starting to come to life. We're having
Yeah.
to adjust. Yeah, not you can't have in-person events. Now you kind of semi can. I
Hmm.
don't know. Guess what? Virtual events are a huge thing and we're making videos for those too, right? So
Yeah.
it's like we want people to feel like, hey, I can trust in this partner to provide certainty during these uncertain times. And we do that through premium videos and that just
Hmm.
makes me smile. It really does.
No, it's amazing, and what a great story! Like it truly is, because a lot of people watch this that maybe have gone down the video route, maybe didn't have the exact best experience possibly. Like now they have another resource. Like they understand that video can be done right. Explainer video can be powerful for many different reasons, including like as you mentioned, quick start, a lot of different things that people can use. Explain educational. So that being said, so what's next? I mean, what's next for you? Obviously, you're really busy, more leads. I know they need it yesterday to prepare for New Year. I get it. It's the end of the year. But what's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next for
Yeah.
Explainify?
Why? Well, let me use everybody's favorite. It's never too late. Send the message. Get started.
Yeah.
Do something. If you have a potato, shoot it with a potato. If you need a video
Mhm.
expert, call Explainify. But I got to say, we take a lot of pride in explaining complicated things and making them simple, and then make someone go,
Mhm.
"Oh, wow, I didn't think about it that way. It really is like that, right?" I think it could be difficult that, even from companies, we expect out a lot of marketing teams, but it doesn't make them video
Mhm.
production experts. And so video comes last in a lot of different meetings that we see. So for the audience, what's next,
Mhm.
right? Don't wait in 2022 to talk about video last. Don't get to
Yeah.
the middle of the year and then go, okay, all 50 of us in a room finally decided we need a video. We could have produced 10 videos for you in that
Especially
time. Or
those SaaS companies watching. I'll throw that out there. That can't be last, especially when you got that product launch. You have all these other things going on. Didn't mean to cut you off, but like that can't be last. We could tell the difference between you threw it together last minute and working with a company like Explainify.
No, you nailed it. And I'll tell you why too, because we're coming into this, right? The
Yeah.
conversations are escalating. It used to be, everyone was, okay, 20, 30 people get in a room for a couple weeks, couple months. We
Mhm.
bounce this idea around. Oh, we need money. Oh, we
Yeah.
need permission. Those aren't the companies that are growing the fastest. Let me just tell you that
Mm-mm.
right now. You just create more headaches for yourself. What you really want to do is put video first. Then you say,
Mhm.
okay, how do I take this one video, split it up 10 times? How do I take that content and then reshare it over the next 6 months, 2 years?
Mhm.
That stack, 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 stack. You become a content creation expert yourself very quickly.
Yeah.
The faster you put video up front, the more you realize how much, well, no, better results you could get. The faster it gets. The ROI is all we've never. I haven't found a place where someone was like, "Oh yeah, this video didn't produce anything." Well, if you're
Yeah.
putting it in the right place and you build the plan with video first, you'll always find success. But I'm here to bust that myth today that video is expensive. Not true.
Yeah.
What is expensive to you? Waiting 6 months? Or getting started
Yeah.
today, right? So, like, it takes too long. Not with our frustration-free process. What's next? You know what I mean? Like, I've
Yeah.
heard them all. So I'm like, get beyond that. Just save yourself. Watch this interview, right? The audience
For
that's,
sure.
take action now. And the part was, where are we going next? People are talking about creating this content
Mhm.
on a regular basis. You will get better online results, better points
Mhm.
from Google, if you will. Okay. You will get better everything if you're creating the content on a regular basis, on a
Mhm.
scheduled type of thing. So we have a lot of clients looking at quarterly and annual plans with us and going, hey, you know
Mhm.
what? Every quarter we do have product, software feature updates and releases. And we don't
Yeah.
want to do, we want to release that through an animated video because we animate
Mhm.
UI screens as well. Right. So every time you
Yeah.
do a software update, screen changes, but we can animate it in a way that makes it universal enough. And then you can share that. Another idea that
Mhm.
other companies have had is sharing internal updates with remote employees, 1,000 employees,
Mm.
10,000 employees. Don't make them sit
Yeah.
there through a 3-hour meeting. Send them the animated update of the quarter.
Yeah.
That's the cutting edge. That's the next level. Video first, right? Hey, let's
Mhm.
call a meeting and stop everyone's time for. How much does that cost you
Yeah, for
versus one
thousands of
video?
employees.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the thing is I'm trying to turn it upside down for everyone. 10 years
Mhm.
for Explainify starting January. Okay.
Wow.
10 years,
Congrats,
thousands
by
of
the way. 10
videos.
years, that's a
Thank
big
you.
milestone. That's big.
Oh man, and the excitement really is that during the pandemic stuff, nobody knew. Everyone went to video first. That makes me proud of everybody here because it's like the
Mhm.
message is getting through. We're all expecting high quality video content these days, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's kind of what we're pushing into is like, don't wait, put video first, and think
Yeah.
about what would you do every quarter. You have updates, you have campaigns all the
Mhm.
time. Let us come in and show you how you can multiply that 10x today with
For
your
sure.
ability to move forward and plan for better growth and success together with us, your trusted video partners.
Fantastic. So one last thing, Derek, I'm not going to let you get off the hook of this. And I love bringing podcasters on the line. Tell us about the podcast. I definitely want my audience to go check that out.
Thank you. We have a press play podcast where we also go
Mhm.
into these businesses and break down these stories as to how
Yeah.
digital content creation, mainly video, right, but all different forms of content have come out of the
Mhm.
woodwork for lots of different industries, from anywhere from entertainment, sports, hospitality,
Yeah.
technology. It really is amazing. Everywhere you go, no touch, no contact. Well, how am I supposed to
Mhm.
communicate? I can't hand someone a brochure. You send them
Not
a
right now.
video. Yeah, yeah. You put a QR code out there. You say,
Mm.
scan this, watch the video. If you've been out to eat lately, some of those
Yeah.
places still make you scan for a menu. They won't give you
Mhm.
the menu. It's no different than the video. Hey, I've arrived at the ballpark. What do I expect? Boom, watch the
Mhm.
video. right? Oh, hey, you're coming to the ballpark. Here's what you can expect with our COVID policies. You're checking
Yep.
into the hotel, right? Here's what you can expect.
Mhm.
So there on your room TV, inside the lobby, walking around the property, you can have a completely unbranded experience
Mhm.
from the start that totally
Yeah.
matches your advertising up front, that matches your brand awareness and culture
Mhm.
statements on the back end to my real-time experience with you. And so that's where it already went. It's not where it's going. Where it's going
Yeah.
is the further personalization of that to say, Derek, welcome to your room. We
Thank
noticed
you.
that you booked the golf. Yeah, here's what you can expect in your golfing trip, whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the next level. We've already been
Mhm.
through all the things. So by the time I'm here, timestamp it. The next couple of years is pushing into the metaverse and extra personalization of targeted messaging for everyone. So don't get carried away, everyone. Again, you still got to go video first, but how these
Mhm.
technology platforms evolve is really going to shape how video comes to life. You're not replacing video,
Mhm.
but it will be molded to those new standards and subsets of actions that are going to be required for brands moving forward.
Amazing. Well, Derek, pleasure having you on the show today. Getting to know more about, of course, Explainify and what you're doing to help your clients and what you're doing with video. I mean, real true pioneers. Congrats again on the 10-year. If somebody's watching this and they want more information on Explainify or to connect with your team and follow up, I mean, what's the best way for them to do that?
Absolutely. Number one place to go to get inspired is our website. It's growing every
Mm.
day. We have a couple plans set up for next year, so keep an eye on that. Definitely get involved with our newsletter too. We send out free video tips every month. And then we have other personalized messaging for different industries. So if you're in finance or technology or healthcare,
Mhm.
we're putting together content just specifically for you in those areas so you can follow along with best practices. But if that's
Mhm.
too much for you, just visit our social media. We're posting thought leadership pieces there all the time. We take snippets of the podcast and put it there
Mhm.
so you can hear real world scenarios from the leaders who are doing it every single day. They're the ones who put video first. They're the ones who are growing. Definitely get your game up, follow that part. And when you're ready to take some
Mhm.
action, or if you want to just have a couple ideation sessions, then
Yeah.
contact us. Again, we've been doing this for 10 years, right? We're not going nowhere. This is the way it's going to be. And we're going to have that much more fun staying on the front end of it. So I just couldn't be more excited. I'm so grateful for the opportunities to make videos for a living, but having
Mhm.
people come to us, the big world brands trust us to bring that story to life, man, there's nothing more motivating than that. So I hope that if anyone's listening, you give us a call, you give us a shot, let us show you.
Amazing. Well, to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you learned a lot. If you're a first-time visitor and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit the subscribe button. We have many more mission-based entrepreneurs, executives, and experts coming on, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Derek, again, been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.